everyone, it's Lizzie and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be doing a comparison budget from our own budget. So we are going to look back a year ago and see how we budgeted back then versus how we are with our budget today. So I will be sharing with you guys 2020's budget in January, and I will also be showing you guys what our January 2021 budget looks like. So if you guys are interested to see how our budget changed and some things that we are doing differently this year, then keep on watching. So this is my budget planner that I was using in the beginning of the year. And I actually budgeted using this planner, I think up until October. And then that's when I switched to my iPad. So let's just flip, and I'm actually looking at this firsthand along with you guys. So you're gonna hear my reaction to some of these things. So let me go ahead and zoom you guys in. That way you can see exactly what I wrote in here. Okay, so this is what the January 2020 budget looked like. I wrote in our actual numbers, how much we overspent in certain categories. So let's just see how it all went down. So for the budgeted section, this is just an estimate of, this is what we plan on making, and we kind of base it off of our spending from the prior month or a few months before that and try to average it. So in January, we budgeted $4,150, but we made much more than anticipated. And I don't remember why. I think it was due to bonuses and all of that. So that was really nice. And then tithe is the same as what I normally budget now. There is a few big differences. You'll see it when I show you our 2021 budget, but these are the expenses that we had. So we did have debt. We had our home mortgage. We had a HOA. Let's see. I know we had credit card debt, and then we had my car lease. I still had my car lease at this time, and I know we were trying to work on lowering our bills and other expenses. That was the goal, and I wrote that in here. So we were able to pay extra towards debt, which was really nice. We overspent in our gas and our SunPass because my husband, he did a lot of traveling for work. So now in the situation that we are now, he works for himself and he can pick and choose the jobs that he does, which is really, really nice. So our total expenses that we budgeted was $3,235. Now, if you guys know, I decided that we were going to be doing percentage budgeting, or, planning out how much we are going to be spending by percentages. And I can't remember if I did this here or January. Let me just flip and see. I wasn't writing in the percentages in here. So a lot of things definitely changed as the year went on. But if you take the income that was budgeted for, so the $4,150, and you multiply it by the 80%, because at this point we had debt. So I would recommend starting with 80% of your income. And that is a good goal amount to figure out, okay, this is how much we should be actually spending out, including any of your cash envelope categories, your expenses, anything that leaves your account or your cash envelopes. I had later on recommended, well, that's a good goal for you to live off of. So multiplying it by 0.8, that gives us $3,320 as our spending money. So we're pretty close to that. And then I did have cash envelopes. I was a cash budgeter. So kind of had everything written in one spot under sinking funds, even though they weren't necessarily sinking funds. So like our grocery, I have it up here, but eating out, that wasn't a sinking fund. Home, that's not a sinking fund. So I kind of was utilizing this worksheet as best I could, and this worksheet I did create. So we did pretty well, I feel, with the spending for January, but it's just crazy to see that we had $266 going out to our car lease that I had turned in, and I ended up owing extra anyways because of it. So that's just crazy to me. And the fact that we had different subscriptions. So we had Disney, a Disney pass. We no longer have our Disney pass anymore. We really want to get it again. I think that this was the last month that we paid for our Disney pass, and then the entire year of 2020, our goal was to travel. We wanted to travel around Florida. We wanted to just go on like weekend trips and use the funds from Disney Pass and put it towards our travel savings and then use that to travel. But guys, you all know that was impossible to do for this year because of, everything with COVID and all of that. So we just stayed in. But there's a blessing in disguise with that financially for us. I know that is not the case for many. And I am just very grateful that we were able to still save and we were able to sell our home. So during this month, we were in the process of listing our house for sale and all of that. We were saving for Christmas really intentionally, and we ended up saving $118. And it's just been so crazy that we have been able to do that. Let's look at our savings. So how well did we end up saving? We budgeted $131 for emergency, but we ended up saving well above that, $425 or $26, which is awesome. And then we were able to make an extra debt payment this month. So this is how the overview of January 2020 looked like for us. And now let me go ahead and show you guys what for the new year 2021 looks like for our January budget. All right, so this is my January 2021 monthly budget, and I haven't really done a monthly budget breakdown like this in quite a while, so I'm excited to show you guys what our projected January budget looks like. So one thing that is new, that is different from the January 2020 is our percentage formula that is actually written in the worksheet. So I'm able to write in how much we want to set aside for specific categories. I recommend separating it into expenses, a goal amount, and your tithe. I do believe in tithing and giving back because you receive so much more in return. Honestly, it's just a personal thing. We are breaking down our budget this way. So with the percentage formula, we're breaking down 70% going towards expenses, and that's for any bills and daily spending, anything that leaves our bank account. And then 15% of our income is going to a goal. And now our goal is our savings. We want to grow our savings. We have a few things in mind of what we want to do. I really need a better car, to be honest. So we're going to figure out our goal and how we can break down that so that we can apply our portion of our income to go to a car fund, or we really don't know just yet. We still have to talk about it and finalize a few things. But that's one of our goals, is we just want to save. And that's where we are for the month, or for the year of 2021. So with our income being $43.30, looking at January of 2020, our budgeted income was $41.50. So we had an increase in income, which is always nice and such a blessing. So that's one thing that has changed from a year ago. And with that, that also increases our giving. So because we now make more, we're able to give more. And that is just awesome that we're able to do that. And now let's get into the expenses. So what has changed from a year ago? One of them is our house. We no longer are homeowners, we rent. And with that, we save on our housing payment, right? So before, we had paid our mortgage. So if you see right up top, you see the mortgage is $14.73, but then you also have to include the HOA, which is the Homeowners Association charge of $51. So we were paying well over $1,500 just for a house, just for a roof over our head. Right now, all we pay is $1,300. And that was due to my husband. He got a discount of $200. So usually it would be $1,500, but because we signed the lease when my husband was an employee, we get $200 still up until our lease runs out, and then I'm sure it's going to jump up to $1,500. But for right now, we are taking all of the savings, and we're blessed for that. So that's changed our rent, $1,300. And then the water and the electric bill, I don't know what that is. We get the bill like way later, and it's super close to the due date. But I'm just estimating that our water is going to be 70 and the electric is going to be 98 because average, that's about how much we've been paying. And I don't know why our electric bill is so high, to be honest, because we're in a 2-bedroom apartment, but we're trying to figure that out. So if we look at our electric, so in the house, we had budgeted $80 for January, and what actually came out was $65. Also, the water bill was $78 at the house, and we're budgeting out $70. It could be less. It's been less, our water and electric bill, from what I budgeted for, but I just budget for the worst case scenario just so I won't be surprised. So as a whole, with everything, right? The total fixed expenses that we have comes to $2,584. We budgeted $3,235 at the house a year ago. So that is amazing. Let's actually see what the difference is once I add up even the other daily expenses. Okay, so we have that $2,584.29. Those are the fixed expenses. And then we have these other categories. Now, these are considered like cash envelopes. We have them in an online bank account right now. So we are no longer cash budgeters, but we still divide our categories as if they are cash envelopes. So I hope that makes sense. So my husband has his responsibilities, and he does groceries, and I manage like the household purchases and things like that. So like for our dogs, if we need like laundry detergent, cleaning supplies, and then other medical expenses, I'm the one that takes care of that. So that's kind of how we've divided and conquered, doing the Jordan Page method of handling that. So one thing that we have realized, so you're going to see we put an NA on some of these. So what's changed in our January 2021 budget is that we are including the dog food that we buy regularly, and then some random like household supplies. We're adding that towards our grocery budget. So our pet food and all of that we're including it in our grocery budget. So now eating out, we are not budgeting that for a month as a whole. We do that based on our paycheck budgets. So we are paycheck budgeters, and the monthly budget is kind of like just a rough draft of how we want our money to go. And so for right now, the main thing, so the need is groceries, and that is where we write it in on our monthly budget sheet. Our paycheck budgets is the details. So I know I'm going to get comments of, why aren't you writing in your random spending? Why aren't you writing in your eating out? Don't you guys have a life and enjoy all of the things? We do, but we budget that out each paycheck. So every time we receive a paycheck in our bank account, we'll divide it up and we'll give it a specific place. So just wanted to kind of explain that to you guys. So if you add in, let me actually pull up my calculator here. All right, if you add in the $2,584 and the $400, $2,984.29 is the total expenses that we are budgeting out for January of 2021. Now, with January 2020, let's see what the total is. $33,25.92 is the total expenses that 2020 had budgeted out for. So this is not the actual spending. This is what was budgeted for. So if you take that, so the beginning of this year, 2020, this was the total expenses that we budgeted out for. And then if you take, let me clear that. And we subtract the $2,984.29. We have saved in our spending $341.63 from what is the budgeted amount for 2021. So we're no longer spending $340, guys. Like, that is insane. That is just so crazy. A few other things that have changed is the sinking funds. So the same that I mentioned to you about the eating out and everything, same goes for our sinking funds. We are prioritizing what is most important to us right now as far as our savings goal, and that is what we write in on our budget. So what's important to us is our car, Christmas, our vitamins and different things for health and medical. Those are important, and also my birthday, because I'm turning 30 March 1st, and I want to celebrate it. It might not be how I planned for it to be, but I definitely want to celebrate me turning 30 this year. So we are budgeting a certain amount for my birthday. So now if we look at the sinking funds from 2020, I know not all of this is truly sinking funds, but you can see that we budgeted out for Christmas. So it's about the same for Christmas that we're setting aside for. Our goal is to save the same amount, $1,000. So we will reach the goal. We still had similar goals. So medical was important to us, car maintenance. So that really hadn't changed much from a year ago. And then there's two things on here for savings that we still budget out for. One is emergency. We want to grow back up our emergency fund because we had used some of it. And I also have a goal to have us save at least 6 months for emergency. So we want to apply that. And then since my husband, he does work for himself, he doesn't have a 401k. So we do have to contribute to a retirement account. And so from the income, we're just setting aside a portion of that and just calling it his retirement. Obviously, this can change each paycheck and each month when we do set it aside for his retirement account. But in all, we do budget every dollar. That part has not changed. So that is the overview of our 2021, comparing it to our 2020 January budget. So a lot of things have changed. We are debt free, so we have no debt, which is awesome that we can say that starting the year 2021. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and you can also do the same. Let me know if you've compared your budget from a year ago and how much has changed, if it surprised you, if you took away anything from the previous year's budget. But hope you all enjoyed today's video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in a brand new video. Bye guys.